Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I gotta get right into it. I'm a big comic book nerd. Civil War is probably one of my favorite storylines ever, and I know the challenge with this is that Civil War spans hundreds of characters,
right,
all different types of franchises, and obviously for various reasons, you got to shrink it down. You got to bring it down to 12 key players. What is that like to take something that big and to obviously miniaturize it, but still keep it epic and legendary and so explosive and whatnot?
Yeah.
Well, you know, look at the thing is, while we love the book as well, it's like bringing that idea to the movies was very specific of like, well, look, there's a story that started back with the first Iron Man 10 years ago.
Right.
Okay, and then there's a series of serialized storytelling that has unfolded since then. So this movie was very much intended to address that.
Right.
The movie run, this family of Avengers that's collected together, and this is the family fight that comes to that family. So
it feels like a sibling rivalry. Were there any sort of like sibling rivalry stuff on set at all while you were filming it, or is it kind of a like was one of you Cap and one of you Iron Man at all? Or?
Well, it's interesting. We really have to work hard to support both points of view in the movie. We weren't interested in making one of the characters the antagonist. We wanted them to serve equally as protagonists and antagonists throughout the movie.
No, I felt that.
Yeah, and what you want to have happen by the end of the film is you want people walking out of the movie arguing about who was right. And so we took a lot of time to make sure that each character was supported.
Tony, if someone dies on your watch, you don't give up.
Who said we're giving up?
We are for not taking responsibility for our actions. This document just shifts the blame.
I'm sorry, Steve, that is dangerously arrogant. This is the United Nations we're talking about. It's not the World Security Council. It's not SHIELD. It's not Hydra.
No, but it's run by people with agendas, and agendas change.
That's good. That's why I'm here. When I realized what my weapons were capable of in the wrong hands, I shut it down, stopped manufacturing.
Tony, you chose to do that. If we sign this, we surrender our right to choose. What if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go? What if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? We may not be perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
If we don't do this now, it's going to be done to us later.
No, I get it. I mean, even to the point where when the movie was over, I was literally watching the two of them there, and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
And like I was thinking about my little sister, and I was like, oh, this is like that crazy fight we had back in high school. Like, I totally get it.
Yes.
Like, so what was it like shooting in location? I know you were in Atlanta, you
Yeah.
were in Germany.
That's right.
What was it like to have all these different locations and to bring it together?
It's
that's
great.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, look, we always try to like. With the Cap movies, you know, the thing that always appealed to us about Cap when we came on to Winter Soldier was that, like, he's a man, and he's in some ways most grounded of all the Marvel superheroes in some ways. So we tried to craft a style that was very much based on like some level of realism, as much as you could with a superhero movie, right? And I think that so for us, approaching the movies in that way, having these great locations to shoot in is just really like, it allows us to tie into something that we all can recognize in our real world and sort of see these characters in that context. It's really exciting for us.
No, I get that. You know what this movie really felt like? Obviously, Bucky, he's fighting for Bucky, but he's fighting against Iron Man. It felt like your high school best friend and your college best friend kind of meet each other.
Yep.
They don't really get along, but you're like, come on, y'all, can't we just all love each other?
Right. And
one steps out of line, and you're like, I got to put you down. Like,
Yep.
you can't talk to my boy like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was really cool to see you guys put it in a very real scope for people, and that idea of that internal struggle.
Well, we wanted to take, like Ant said, you know, the storytelling that's existed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and figure out how to turn that into Civil War.
Right.
And, you know, we felt like Bucky was the most emotional thing that Cap had in his life, and that, you know, that could create a very complex story if you know, he was forced to either choose between the Avengers or Bucky.
Got it. Hey, gentlemen, thank you so much. Awesome movie.